All the things that I have said on the video are not mine. They were given to me in visions in 2014 for 3 weeks, day and night. And I've spent 3.5 years sorting it all out, all the way down to the magnetic field, which is I'm about to show you today. All of it was given to me by the God of the Bible, and I have said all this on many videos. A couple of things about energy laws. Electricity through matter creates electromagnetism. Electromagnetism through matter creates electricity. Energy attracts matter. Matter covers energy, and energy moves matter. That's literally all you need to know. Plus, action equals reaction. What I'm about to show you is a new magnetic field arrangement that you've never seen before, never even heard of, and it is absolutely correct by God's guidance, visions, and wisdom, and prodding, and pushing, and correcting. Thanks very much. Okay, today I have a mind-blowing explanation for how magnetism works. It's quite brilliant, really. Now, I showed this picture the other day, and this is the EM field of the Earth, and I said that this magnetic field must be a lie, because this is what's actually happening with the solar wind, which means it's not reciprocating back to itself. It's just not, and I'm going to prove how with double helix energy flow. Now, before we do that though, I'm going to make an amendment to my last video, because for the past year, since I started doing magnetism, God has been whispering at me, because God doesn't shout. He's like, all right, I'll let you run your course, Lee, and then I'm going to start speaking because you're going to come to a dead end. And I haven't been able to kind of move on with the magnetic field because it was wrong, but not by much. Now, the other day I showed the picture with the pine cone, and then I overlaid the flower that you see on screen over the pine cone to show that the field encompasses all. And I laid it on there like this. Now, this is kind of correct, but it's only half correct. So I'm going to do something to the flower now, and then I'm going to show that the orientation of magnets that you've been taught, and that things like Ken Wheeler teaches, are all massively incorrect. And I'm going to show you by double helix energy why and how truthfully magnetic fields really work. So first off though, I'm going to change the orientation of that flower. Now, this is a true representation of a magnetic field. Now, here's the thing. I've always treated a magnetic field going into the North Pole and out of the South as this orientation, as if energy was coming into the North Pole. This is massively incorrect. Nothing goes into the North Pole and nothing goes into the South Pole. Energy comes into the inertial line in this direction. This is where energy runs through the Earth. There is no other way it can go in any other direction. It doesn't come into the north, as the picture we see here shows. And when energy goes into something, things get hot, don't they? Yes. So, if the poles have ice, there is nothing going into the poles. Now, something is coming out of the poles, electromagnetism, but it is not a vortex as it has been described on magnetic videos. There are two vortices on either side of a magnet, which I have shown in my ferrocell ferroplate videos. It has been visually obvious, and I have shown it. It's on a video called "There Are Two Fields on a Magnet on Either Side." And in a minute, I'm going to show you how, because it's just absolute genius. And unfortunately, the reason I got the orientation wrong was because of stupid, misguided misconceptions of this magnetic field. And so this magnetic field, saying it's coming out, going around and in, is obviously a fake idea, a wrong idea to stop people from understanding electricity, electromagnetism, and magnetism. This is saying stuff's coming out and going around the planet. I'm going to do a drawing in a minute of my double helix energy flow, which has never changed. I'm now just about to change the orientation to show you how we get a field on the left and a field on the right, and they are both completely different. The one on the top in the North Pole, on the left hand side, half of it is the flower of life, and on the right hand side of the North Pole, half of it is a pine cone. And the same on the bottom. Left hand side of the North Pole is the flower of life, right hand side of the South Pole is the pine cone. So we have two fields on either side of a magnet. And so, if you haven't already understood, this means that all magnetic theory is incorrect because it's all based upon something coming out of a magnet, out of the North Pole and out of the South Pole with an inertial line going horizontal through the magnet, when in fact it's got two inertial planes. One goes horizontal and one goes vertical, especially with the Earth, as I'm about to draw. Okay, here we go. I'm going to make this really simple. This is actually pretty comprehensive, so I'm not going to show you that, but this is the amount of work I've done this year that you've never seen about the field. So what I'm about to do now is going to blow your mind. I've never drawn this fully. I've drawn it once, but most of it's in my head, so we're going to try and do this together. Okay, first off, let me tell you about the two fields of inertia. This is the sun. Okay, seems a little small. Okay, that's the sun. Let's just say we are here. This is the Earth. The inertial plane of the sun does that. Inertial plane of the Earth and a magnet. So every magnet you see supposedly has an inertial line. Here, with two vortices, here. But energy is supposed to be coming out of a magnet in a vortex and out of a magnet in a vortex and reciprocating round to here and here. So maybe it's going in here and out here. This is wrong. And why? Because there is another inertial field, and it is here. Now what does that mean? That just means this. Okay? That's the field of the sun. It has an inertial line there. There is an inertial line there, which means we have them. And then this is an inertial line around the sun, like this, is also elliptical. And this is also not elliptical, sorry, circular, whatever you want to call it, because it's a magnetic field, so it should be relatively round. So we have three planes, X, Y and Z. 1, 2, 3. This is the field that we're on, which takes us around the sun. And around us, we have the moon. So that's how that works. So we have 1 and we have 2, and I say energy goes that way. Okay, now I'm going to reconcile double helix energy to this and show you what's going on. Okay, now I've always drawn a field either like this, which is one form of travel, or I've actually gone like this. This is correct for the Earth, but what I have to do is to change the orientation to this and this. Okay, with the Earth here. Okay, this is supposedly the north and the south. As you can see, I've got nothing coming out of my north or my south, and nothing is reciprocating. Everything is going this way. Now, just to explain to you in 3 dimensions what these little circles are. If we look from the top down, let's say, see, I've never drawn it, so here we go. It comes in to the center of the earth through this inertial line, comes into the center of the earth, hits an inertial plane on the top, aren't we? Comes all the way around and down into, from here and down, from the top of the earth. This is the North Pole. Fibonacci spiral into here, Fibonacci spiral, because this is coming in at the bottom of the planet, up through the center. It then performs a figure 8 movement so that it can change orientation, and then it comes around, all the way around and down, around and out. Sorry, that's wrong. It's just too difficult to bloody draw. In, back through the inertial line. It's now underneath the planet, around, down, up and out. See, I can't do this without a computer model, which is why it's been really difficult to get my head round. And that would be the North Pole. And then this one does that. On this side of the planet, it goes underneath the planet and out. So that's basically what it's doing, but now I'm going to show you the orientation of the planet. So basically you've got one going that way and one going that way. One is incoming from underneath, which is this one, and then you've got this one from the top, which then travels through the planet and comes out underneath, which is how we get our Galaxy S on the top and the bottom. Basically, let's try and get my head around this. I'm going to try and draw it in 3D here to make it a little easier. Okay, camera keeps shutting down. Okay. So, we have 4 points of entry. 1, 2, 3, 4. A cubed, kind of, no less, but this is actually a circle. And what happens is they all try and dive in to this very center. So this one comes down and it doesn't go into the pole, it spills down straight across diagonally like this. Okay, that's the direction of travel. So it goes across, north, south, it comes across, down, through, across and out, from underneath, up, through, across and out, which is what I'm trying to draw here. So this one comes diving in. Which way does it go? Okay, so it comes around, spins into a Fibonacci spiral, goes downwards, performs a figure 8 so it inflects, Fibonacci spiral and out. And then this top one comes, hang on, oh yeah, this top one comes into the top at the inertial line, spins into the center, down, performs a figure 8 to change, and then out that way. So on top here now I have that, but they're both incoming and they both left, outgoing at the bottom here. Came in at the top, went out at the bottom. The ones in the bottom, again, curl in, Fibonacci spiral, horizontal figure 8 to change orientation, and then out bottom and out the top. This bottom one comes in, spins into a Fibonacci spiral, goes upwards, performs a figure 8, comes out of the top that way. So you have then this picture. cross, down and out, cross, down and out, while all the while energy is running through the inertial line. Okay, that's about as uncomplicated as I can make that, which was kind of complicated. But now we're going to go through the rotations, which is going to prove everything I say. Here we go. Alright, so we got our Earth, got the Sun, energy goes this way. This is our supposed north and south, which there are no north and south. Okay, so energy is coming in. This is a double helix, comes up, hits. Now it hits this line the same way water does that when it hits something. Okay, that's what happens. And on the other side of the picture, if a rocket takes off, so that's energy going that way. When a rocket takes off, it also does that. Okay, so remember that. Energy up will leave a rocket wake behind it. Energy in will cause a splashdown. Now, I'm going to draw this twice because energy is flowing through. But it's also, energy is flowing through it, but there's also a shape. So electromagnetism comes in. These both shoot to the middle. One goes down and one goes up. This is your splashdown. Okay? I'm just going to leave it like that for now. Now, electricity though goes through here. Inside here is just electricity. When it bursts out, it does that. And it does that. Okay, so we have our splashdown, which is here, which is water falling, which is our orientation here. And then we have energy leaving, which causes a rocket attempt of energy explosion. And then it goes out. So, because this will keep, if you pump energy in, so this is where I'm changing it, this is where you pump energy in, you get this. Now each energy pulse is that. So you always have to have that end and that end in opposition, which is what I have here, which is a rolling wave, which I have shown on many an occasion. So this is your pine cone. Okay? This, of course, just keeps splashing down. And so this is the flower of life. Now this side is light and this side is dark. Okay? This is going to be very important, light and dark, because it's going to be yin and yang. Alright, so we're getting there. So far, and because this is rotating, it gives you the pine cone design. This is not rotating, this is a splashdown flower of life. This is why you get flowers going this way. When a flower grows, it grows in a point, a vortex. Because that's energy going this way, which is also energy going that way. So it's a vortex pineapple. But when the sun comes down, it activates the DNA here, which makes the flower pop out. I'm going to come to these stamens in a minute. So energy from the sun creates the flower. Energy from the ground creates the vortex. But don't think that energy's going that way, like, oh, two energies. No. This is from two different bodies. This is from one body. Okay? So what that means is this is going that way because it's designed to, and that's going that way because it's designed to. But this is just the vortex. But when it hits matter going that way, it will cause a splashdown this way, which is the flower of life. None of these are attached to anything. Okay? These are just this. That's it. This is what's on a magnet, okay? And this side, even though I've got it interlinking so you can see the pine cone, is also doing that, okay? So it is also not actually attached. This is the magnetic field that comes from the electricity. Electromagnetism in this direction. Once it hits matter, it is turned into electricity, and then a cascade of electricity, electromagnetism, because electricity through matter creates electromagnetism, and electromagnetism through matter creates electricity. So electromagnetism till it hits the surface of the Earth and our atmosphere, but we're not going to make this too complicated because we're talking about Earth and the magnets. So Earth comes in and is changed into electricity here. Now, because electricity is coming underneath, it hits here and is immediately turned into electromagnetism because it's gone from electricity through matter, now it becomes electromagnetism. It then goes downwards, hits again, because this is like a faucet. Not enough energy can get out in the magnetism, and so it changes direction and goes downwards because of the Fibonacci vortices it's created, which are here and here, which are not real. They are just caused by the electromagnetism coming out. But remember, this isn't a vortex. This is two vortices. That's the vortex and that's the vortex, which is why we have a double vortex on each pole. This has been discovered. Please don't think I'm telling you any lies. There's two vortices on each pole. Where was I? So yes, these are not attached to anything, okay? They do not reciprocate, and I've proven this in my video of magnetism, magnets attract by scroll lock, which I'll put up on the video now. Today I'm going to prove that this field that looks like it's wrapping around here, which of course looks like it's wrapping around here and wrapping around here, I'm going to make it bend up into the field of a magnet coming to two impulsed ends, and it's going to bend up like that, and it's going to bend up like that. This one's going to come in like that and like that, and then one rolls that way and one rolls this way, and it will squeeze down into a heart. Watch this. Make sure I've got the right bloody end. Nope. See this? This is repulsing end. This is great big circles that do not want to meet. There's two of them because it's a double helix pushing into this one. This is the top field here, see? This now is two circles pushing against it. But if I turn this around to the positive end or whatever, the one that attracts, watch this. Here it comes. Don't you move. Did we even see it? I'm going to have to focus. There. Boom. Look at that. Look at that curl round. You see that? So these are the impulsion ends. That curls around to there. That's as far as I can push it. Can you see the heart? Look at that heart. Boom. It's like an apple. Right there. So, even though these look like they're bending downwards and going around the magnet, they are not. They are separate entities that wrap in like that. Now we have an apple. Okay, so this is your general design. We have the flower of life on this side, and we have the pine cone on this side. Light and dark, energy goes up and stops, energy goes up and stops. But because it's a constant pulse, this side will do what this side's doing, but it'll try and come back this way. So everything reciprocates, not reciprocates, it goes around back to the inertial line, but then through and out, which is why then you get a flow like that around the Earth. Okay? Because if it's reciprocating, it wouldn't do that. So this eventually joins the inertial line here. What do we find on the equator? We find storms. This is where energy is going in, and so of course it creates a vortex. and this is where energy is going out. So of course it creates two vortices, not one big one. There isn't a vortex. There is not a vortex coming out of this. Excuse me. And there is not a vortex coming out of this. There are two. Now I've already shown that energy this way, double helix, going up and going down, creates counterclockwise rotation of the Earth. So what's happening is the Earth is rotating within this whole field. So there is still not one vortex here and one vortex here. There are two, but they are either side of this, because this line goes around the sun as part of its magnetic field. Okay? Okay, so that's as far as I'm going to take this picture. Now we're going to go on to orientation and direction of rotation. So we have our Earth again. Okay, and I'm going to draw it simply. So it comes over, it goes round and out again, always through the equator. Round, up and out. Okay, this is clockwise. Yeah, nope, sorry, counterclockwise. Clockwise. I might change this around in a minute because I've only done this once, so here we go. So we've got clockwise. So this is counterclockwise because it's always the opposite. This is counterclockwise, so this is clockwise. And so, what do we have with the Earth's spin? I now have energy moving in a counterclockwise rotation, and I have energy moving in a clockwise direction. So I have spin. This half of the planet, this is going this way, this is going this way, clockwise. This part of the quarter of the planet is going this way, and this part is going this way. So what do I have? I have my four winds, as spoken of in the Bible and many other places, you know. North, south, east and west, four winds, blah blah blah. I now have four separate winds, but I also have I have a clockwise to counterclockwise. I haven't had to draw it. So do you see that? This side is light, this side is dark. And so also I have yin and yang, which I have shown on a magnet by its rotations, and now by understanding that energy, this picture isn't going this way, it's going this way, and this is the magnet with north and south. You now understand I have clockwise field on one half of the top of the magnet, sorry, counterclockwise, and counterclockwise on top of one magnet, clockwise and clockwise. But this is the pine cone, and this is the flower of life. I do hope you understand, because I'm trying to make it as simple as I can, but I don't know if it is simple. But that's the whole point. This total hemisphere here now is going counterclockwise, and this total hemisphere, atmospheric incurrences or whatever you want to call it, is going clockwise, is going counterclockwise. So the energy will send your compass south, and the energy here will send it north. But there isn't any north. There is only in. Everywhere except the north and the south, which is why they are cold. Cold. There is no energy. Where the most energy is, which is along this rolling wave and then out, is here. This is the hottest part of the Earth. You can't put a blowtorch on something here and expect it to get hot, can you? So the very fact that the sun on our atmosphere is right here, that's why this is really hot and why it's a rolling wave, because all energy is going like that. All of it. None of it is coming into the top. And I'm going to show you why. Okay. So, if all energy is coming in, swapping sides and going out, like this, and we have our flower of life, and we have our pine cone ejection. Okay, let's see what's happening on the left hand side here. So, the magnetic field comes out and does that. And it comes out and does that. This one, on the other hand, truly does do that. Because this is dark. There's no energy. This is the flow after it's been through. So, what are these doing? These are attached to something, as I showed earlier in my scroll lock video. When a magnet is brought in, these curl up and roll into that magnet field. Okay, now I'm going to draw the sun and show you what this side of the field is doing. So we have our sun. It too is doing this, which of course is the fleur de lis. So now, if you ever took a ring magnet and you break it in half, break the ring magnet, I'll choose this side because it happens to either. This side will immediately flip over and be upside down next to the broken piece. This was a ring magnet, but the second you break it, it flips around and attaches there. Now I'm going to show you why. What that means is the field does that here. And that means that this field here crosses because that automatically flips back over. Because it's north and south and north, which are what are attracting. So on a ring magnet, you have north, north, south, south, which can't happen if you break it in half. That's what happens with two magnets. That's what happens with one solid magnet. A ring magnet anyway. So what's happening here? Well, if it's attached like that, so is this. And so, the one coming out of the sun, as I've said, remember, if it does that, it has to join something else doing that. Unless, of course, it's in a halo wave. But that doesn't alter what I'm about to say, because a halo wave is from something hitting something. This is how it travels through space. So, it has to connect like this. So, how does it happen? This top field attaches, that's its orientation, to the bottom of the Earth, like that. Let's just double check that. Yeah, so you got one like that and one like that, which would give us that, which is what I've got there. So I need that there, which I have, and I need that here, which I have. Okay, and so this one comes out the other side, goes into that one, and that one does that. So that is the X that is between us. Is this side attached? It might well be, because you have that one and you have that one. Can that attach? Sorry, that would go to the bottom. So you'd have that one there and that one there. But it'd be a real weird attachment, so I'm not going to draw it, but it is correct, because you would get the top bit and then this one goes the other way. So you would still get your Galaxy S if that was attached to this and that was attached to this, but then the picture gets really complicated. But that's what I'm telling you. this is attached to here, sorry, and this is attached to here, which is why you get X's everywhere across the sun, because that's the way that goes. We'll go to that in a minute. So, in summary, flower of life, pine cone, and camera falling. And you have counterclockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, and clockwise, which is our Earth. So as I've shown, there's a vortex here, there's a vortex here, there's a vortex here, and there's a vortex here, which causes rotation of atmosphere here and the planet. Is that clockwise? Yeah, and counterclockwise. And clockwise here. So we have our magnetic fields of counterclockwise, which is supposedly north, because I got one on either side of the planet, and we got our south, which is clockwise, which is the energy field, which is what then moves all the clouds and everything else, because it's a total atmospheric. And always across the middle is a rolling wave, because that's where the energy is. It's why this is cold, because nothing is coming in or out of any pole. Nothing. It is in, and out, and across. Energy is only going one way through a magnet. And I think that's about it. I really do hope that I said that right. So now you know that a magnet, and that's why they are kind of drawn, or it's how I've drawn it. A magnetic field is like that. All energy from an EM field line. The Earth's field is made up of layers, round layers, around itself, E for Earth. So every single one of these layers contains energy, and in between them all is a vortex that links them, which I've explained in many videos, which is how electricity works and how plants grow and cell structure and everything else. So all of this comes in, it goes up, can't get out, just turns into electromagnetism. Goes down, cannot get out, but creates electromagnetism. And then shoots that way, and as it leaves here, sorry, this should be here, and this should be here, and then you get that, and then you get that. So this is your inertial line. These clock into that, which then goes across the inertial line and into the rolling wave. But all of it's going that way. Okay? So that's how that works. This, of course, merely curls around. Okay. Curls around, and then it links into that one. And this forms the flower of life, whereas this trails away. Now, something is coming out of a magnet here, like this. This, as energy comes in and hits, not only does it create an electromagnetic wave, but because it's facing this way, it forces out a load of leaders. Not a vortex, many vortex. Thousands of vortices come out, but they're not a true vortex like this, this is what they say is coming out of the earth and on a magnet. It's not. It is thousands and millions of liters, because energy hit and try to get out, but it also caused a splashdown at this inertial plane, which gives us the flower of life. But in this division point here, energy tries to shoot out. But again, it's electromagnetism. Then it gets forced downwards, pushes energy out here. Again, it's like a small hole with a huge faucet. Can't all go. So it goes up, down, cross, down, and out. Same with the top one. Down, up, cross, and out. Because it can't get the electricity out. It can't. There's more electricity here. Sorry, bloody camera. There's more electricity here than there is electromagnetism here. Okay, it can't get it out fast enough, so it has to try and bounce until it finally comes out of the planet. Now, what are these? These, my friends. So, we got a magnet, which is the Earth. Out of this is coming literally arrows. Okay, this is the supposed vortex, and the supposed vortex, which they're not, because energy is only going this way. Now, so we got that, we got that, we got that, we got that. This, oop. This of course is linked into that. That's linked into that. But this is going one way, that's all going one way, it all interlinks all the way down. Where this energy hits, it also causes a splashdown. And when this leaves, it causes a rocket burst. Okay? This is what I'm trying to kind of get across. Energy in splashdown, energy out, rocket shape. So they look exactly the same. But they're not. One's a splashdown, one's taking off. Okay. So what are these? If it's not one vortex and I say it's a billion vortices, how can I reconcile that? Dead easy. It is a rollover halo wave. And I've shown how these are made on many videos. And even if I've drawn that, what that means is it is like a triangle. Like that. Comes up and then it goes that way and falls down around itself. It's called a rollover halo wave. And here's a picture of one from lightning. And as you can see, the lightning is in the field line, the horizontal field line. And energy shoots a spray upwards, which is what's happening in the center of the magnet, and shoots a lightning bolt downwards, which is the lightning inside the magnet shooting downwards. And then you flip the picture over and it's doing it on this side too. Shoots out a rollover double helix halo wave. So that's the lightning taking the energy from the inertial line of the electrical field line in the Earth. That's where it's contained. And so, if we look at the top of a magnet, what do we see? We see what I've called as wizard's hats. But they're not wizard's hats. Those are rollover halo waves. And because this is a fractal pattern, it means that at a certain distance you will see what's really there. You will see 20 of them. But if I covered this with ferrofluid, it would be one triangle, which is where pyramids and all that kind of thing come from. So now you know why they built pyramids. It's a force of energy from the planet. So if you force a pyramid, that's how the energy will flow, which is why you get these wizard's hats on magnets with ferrofluid. But when you have a ferroplate, it's only 1 micron thick, so the electrical pressure forcing the ferroplate makes it go into thin little lines, as you see. So all of them are correct, but all of them are incorrect as a exact model of a magnetic field within ferrofluids or a ferroplate. So, but altogether, this is actually what's happening. So, you got your energy everywhere. And it's all electromagnetism. Electromagnetism goes in at the inertial line, and electromagnetism comes out of both sides. And that's how a magnet works. So, now that I've explained what the spicules are on a magnet, which I did before actually. I said it was electromagnetism coming out, and I showed it, but now I've explained it and I've shown it as lightning. What else? Not really sure if there's anything else. So we have our, I mean, these of course are also stamens on a plant. That's why a flower does that, because these come out of the north and south pole on a magnet, and so they are in the air like this on a magnet. So it doesn't matter where it is. The closer you get here, the more it pulls in the ferrofluid, and so you just get a big triangle. But up here, where there's less, the field spreads out, and so you get little peaks. But as you come further down, you will just get a dome, and these bits go pointy. So in fact, basically a magnet shape is that. And that's about it. Alright, we kind of ended there. Because I've pretty much said everything. So yeah, a magnetic field does not enter poles or come out of poles as one vortex. It's not. It's many on this side, and it's many on this side. And incorrect observations say it's one, when it's not. This is a counterclockwise, this is a counterclockwise, this is clockwise, and this is clockwise, which gives us our energy rotations. So yeah, your magnet, all the energy's coming in and leaving, exactly how I've said. So there we go. The magnetic orientation field of a magnet is 90 degrees wrong, and that proves it. So I don't know if that blew your minds. It totally blew mine, because that means that everything we've ever learned about magnetic fields is absolute crap. And so I'll just quickly go through these because they're here. No, I won't. I'm just going to leave them up. So we got that picture. Isn't really anything on here that I haven't explained. Let me just see. Okay, and here's where different fields are attached on either side. This is what I showed in the other video the other day. I don't think there's anything new in here. I'll just change it all over. But basically, this is everything. Because I said that one was dominant. It's not the case. They're actually counterclockwise and counterclockwise. It's not clockwise and counterclockwise. It's clockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise, counterclockwise, or counterclockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, clockwise. But basically, these are the pictures. Yeah, there it is. So I drew it once and just went, oh! Nothing to do with dominant, because there's clockwise and clockwise on both sides, but they're two completely different vortices, which in actuality are a million vortices. This is me trying to do the sun, and I even wrote ha, because it just starts getting really sillily complicated, and then I try to do it that way and that way, which of course gives us yin and yang, light side, dark side, light side, dark side, light side, dark side, yin yang, light, dark, light, dark, which is what's going on here. And then this is how energy comes in and energy goes out and energy goes out. Again, inertial line, we've got two of them. This is the shape. You got hearts and clubs, and you got diamonds, and there's a spade there somewhere. But yeah, four suits also in one earth. Again, trying to draw it so it would be understandable. Again, I've got light, dark. These are from August the 12th. These are the things that I put in. Different orientations will give you a different view on the atmosphere, which is where the Buddha sign and the Nazi sign come from. Counterclockwise is energy in, which is this. So this is on the sun side. Counterclockwise, Buddha. This is on the dark side. Dun dun dun. Nazi symbol rotating clockwise because it comes in and goes out. A few more things showing counterclockwise, 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 clockwise, clockwise, clockwise. All dependent upon two inertial lines, which is of course again the cross of God and every other symbol of fleur-de-lis or shield or coat of arms from the elite. Again, showing it all again because it's extremely difficult to draw. But there we go. So there we go. There's your mind blown. That was kind of that kind of thing. And a load of stuff that wouldn't just take too long. So okay, thank you very much. This is the video that truly showed what an electromagnetic field truly does. I'm quite impressed, Lord, because everything you've ever told me has turned out to be absolutely correct, which is just incredible, really. So let's put these back in order. So now you know that energy comes into one side of into the inertial line on a magnet. Now for a magnetic field, because we're in a system, a one-way system, which is the north or the south, what you need to do basically is to take this picture. Tell you what, let's just get a new piece. So what's happening on a magnet? So you need to take this shape and rotate it 365 degrees. Sorry, my camera's not looking. So if you rotate this 365 degrees, you will get a magnet that basically looks, I know it's a crappy drawing, but that, my friends, is what you get when you spin a magnet. That's what a magnet truly looks like. That's what you get, which is just bonkers. So yeah, rotate that pattern horizontally and you will get a magnetic field that looks like that, which of course is like Saturn with its rings through this inertial line, and energy is going that way, and so there are rings like this because it's all coming back out. So there we go. The Lord finally revealed it to me because I was getting it wrong, and then I turned around and I asked him and said, I know it's wrong, Lord. I can hear you saying stuff. And then boom, he gave me, the Lord gave me that picture right there and said, it's not coming in this way. Look at the pictures on screen. That's what it's doing. And so that's what it means. That means then that you can reconcile both sides to a four-wind magnet with a cross. Yin yang everything. Four winds, pine cones and the flower of life. So yeah, thinking that the flower of life is on top of a magnet is actually incorrect, because that's not what it's doing. It's two fields in one, which pretend to make a vortex, because this is all shooting out, forcing in the ferrocell all the ferrofluid sideways. But again, it's electromagnetism. Alright, that's it. Thanks very much. My name is Lee. I follow the Christ. And the Lord gave this all to me in visions in 2014 for 3 weeks, day and night, non-stop, 50 million layer MPEG. You have no idea what I went through. Basically, sit in front of a TV and speed it up to about 8 million times the speed at that you watch TV, but create an hour-long program into all that and then force it into somebody's head. The entire universe, what you think is 14 billion years of information, is what has been ripped into my head. So how old am I? That's the weird part now. Alright, thanks very much. I follow the Christ, and I've shown you all the things that he's shown me and told me, and I have finally been able to explain the magnetic field in exquisite detail so that anybody can understand, even a child, because that is the easiest thing in the universe to understand of how energy flows through a planet, through a magnet, through plants. It doesn't matter. Everything works this way. I just had the orientation wrong for a magnet, but the Earth shape showed me what is true. So yeah, that Earth field, take that shape, spin it, and you will get what's going on around the Earth. Thanks very much.